All right, check it. So I heard you're looking to start your own service-based business, marketing agency, SaaS, software as a service, regardless of what it is. In this video, I'm gonna be explaining some of the hardest difficulties I've experienced while starting up and running my SaaS company, while starting up and running my marketing agency. And I might bring a little bit about my contracting company as well. Because this is very valuable for you guys to know prior to starting your company. And I wish I knew these mistakes that I've made prior to starting up. I mean, it would have saved me a lot of time and a whole lot of money. So pretty much the point of this video is I want to give you some of the secrets of the problem. I want to bring you in detail on the things that I've ran into, the problems I've ran into while mainly with my marketing company, mainly with my SaaS company, that hopefully it's going to save you a lot of money in the future, you know? So let's get this party started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen over here. And as you know, guys, you know how much I love my little handy dandy little notepad. Oops, my handy dandy little notepad right over here. All right. So I'm going to be talking about a couple of things. More specifically, start off first with my SaaS company, my software as a service, guys. If you guys don't already know, pretty much my entire SaaS company is called Funnel Hacker Labs. I'm sure you guys have probably seen one of my videos. I'm not going to try to plug it in too much in this video. Pretty much what we do is we're a shortcut for funnels, you know? So we have a bunch of tools that's just going to shortcut you to be able to have an actually converting funnel a lot quicker. Plus we have a bunch of ad attribution that allows you to optimize your funnel and your ads with pretty much with pinpoint accuracy, so you actually can know what to do, you know, taking the guesswork out. All right, but pretty much enough of that stuff. Let's talk about some of the problems I've occurred when starting my company and how I've managed to fix it. All right, one of the biggest problems that I've realized is hiring employees are expensive. Employees, a lot of dollar signs, you know. Employees are expensive. Mainly employees in the US can get pretty expensive and the price can go up, you know. People are charging like $10, $15 an hour just for something very, very simple, like write a blog for you or something like that, you know. That's minimum wage is like $10 to $15 an hour. Whereas plus when you get more into it, like development work, that's going to start third in US, it's going to start around like for good full stack developer is usually around like 40 anywhere to like even $75 an hour, you know. Not even full stack development, web development, that's going to cost you around anywhere between, I can go in for over 25 to like 35, 40 for web development. Front end UI, that's probably once again probably around 30 to $60 an hour. What I'm trying to say is that these costs add up for all this stuff. Okay, so I'm sure you're probably already thinking, go Blade, what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna go somewhere across the seas where the minimum wage is not that high, and I'm going to go across the seas and I'm going to find something cheaper where the minimum wage is a lot cheaper. And yeah, that's exactly what I first did. You know, that's what I learned really quickly, is that overseas the cost of work is a lot cheaper, the minimum wage is a lot cheaper. But a couple more things about that when you're going overseas, when you find people overseas. Well, first one, how you find them is you can go Facebook, Fiverr, or Upwork. Those are my three go-tos right over there. Facebook, Fiverr, and Upwork. Now, there's a couple of things about them. So Facebook, Fiverr, and Upwork. What I want to say is there are a couple of pros and cons of both. All right, so start with pros, cons. Pros over here for Facebook, easy. It's easy to find somebody, find it quick, you know. Cons of this is not all Facebook people have the best reputation. I mean, you can't really, they can lie on their portfolio, right? Scams, a lot of scams. A lot of people can lie on the portfolio. It's hard to find their past work because they can just reference anything, you know. There might be a language barrier between the people that you hire, but that's kind of with everything. But yeah, Fiverr pros, very, very fast. Like you can get immediate work done. But one of the things with Fiverr is this is more or less short-term work. I'm talking like, create a blog for me, create a graphic, create a thumbnail, things like that. Whereas the cons of this, you're not really going to find long-term work over here. These people are looking for that short, quick cash grabs, you know, looking for those short jobs, and they're usually are very there's a lot of people. It's very, very saturated in Fiverr. So if you're trying to find somebody to do like UI or I don't know, something, front end, full stack development, whatever it is, the fact that it's going to take them a little longer than you expect because they're handling multiple jobs at once. I'm trying to say. Now, my favorite over here, well, Facebook is one of my favorite. Okay, I love Facebook, mainly because you can get so many people so quickly. You know, you hop on a group with, let's say you want to find a video editor, hop on a video editing group with around 30K people. You put a post out there, say, hey, I need somebody to help me with my YouTube thumbnails. You're going to get like 9 responses within 30 minutes, straight to your DMs. So you can just quickly find people there. Upwork takes a little bit longer. You have to put out a post out there and they have to respond to your post, put a proposal out. So pros of Upwork is that they have like Upwork insurance. Kind of, I want to say insurance, you know, pretty much a refund guarantee thing. Whatever. They have a refund guarantee, so you know you're not insured. You know, you have to set up contracts with them, and you know, I'm not saying everybody's reputable on there because they're really not. You know, I've worked with some great Upwork people that I've hired full time that work with me for like years now, but I've also like more specifically like recently, when we've been developing our funnel planner tool, right? It's a mapping software that allows you to use a drag and drop canvas. When I say canvas, use a drag and drop canvas that allows you to just build out your funnel in front of you so you can show your entire team what your funnel plans look like. It's going to show you all the marketing schemes that you can run, all the traffic schemes that you run, what does what. Just a way to in Canvas so you can build an overview of your entire funnel strategy, right? Long story short. But pretty much what I'm trying to say is when we first developed this, the first time that I developed this, I looked for somebody on Facebook. Okay. That person on Facebook, what they did is they delivered, and I had a contract with this guy, you know, they delivered the worst thing ever, you know, it wasn't even theirs. So this person tried to scam me. They delivered something that they stole from another company. They literally had the manual, a 300-page manual from this Fortune 500 company, and they gave this as their work. And I asked for a refund. Didn't get a refund. Lost, I don't know, maybe lost 750, maybe $1,000 on there. You know, as I always do milestones, which is something I also recommend. Also having milestones when you need to do it. Okay. Definitely have contracts in place. Make sure you're working with somebody reputable with the actual website, with actual company. Very, very important. Unless it's like small stuff, you know. But yeah, so make sure your contract, make sure you work in milestones. I usually do like 3 parts. So start deposit, middle, and then end when I see everything's done, you know. So first time I got scammed with that took about a month. I wasn't really worried about the money. There's the fact that it took a month for the guy to scam me finally. And I got annoyed because it took a month out of my time, you know. Next time, then what I did is I went over to Upwork. And I found a guy that said he can do it. And now it's a whole mess. Communication is terrible between the guys from Pakistan. He wasn't the cheapest. He wasn't the most expensive, but I found kind of like the middle ground. And when I first talking to him, I was like, listen, my most important thing that I needed is communication. I need constant updates. And so he's like, yeah, absolutely understand. I want to work with you a long time. Absolutely understand. I want communication, updates, milestones. I want to know what's going on is what I'm trying to say. Got into the project, paying the first deposit. Ever since I paid the first deposit, it's been going downhill from there. It's not the best. It has not been the best experience. As a matter of fact, it's been quite a frightening experience, very stressful. What I'm trying to say is when you are hiring on Upwork, especially somebody from like Pakistan, India, something like that, what I've learned is, listen, just the extra 2-3 grand is worth spending in the long run to minimize those headaches from language barriers, from thinking people are going to try to rip you off. Right now, in the middle of this thing, I don't know this guy to rip me off. I don't know what he's doing. It's a mess, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm trying to say is that it's worth paying the extra money to get somebody within the United States or within your country, somebody that you can understand, somebody that you can hop on phone calls with and things like that. Okay. A couple other things about SaaS company and hiring employees. Well, this is the main point. Is it also no? Yes. Another thing is when you're hiring employees, when you're setting up these contracts, you got to make sure everything is very, 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 very clear. Okay. Very clear. So what I'm trying to say with this is even when they are going to the development stage, let's say for the SaaS company, they are making some sort of UI work, doing some sort of development in the background, I don't know, whatever it is, you want to make sure a couple of things happen. First thing is that they practice good coding. What I'm talking about that is, I mean, everybody can find a way to do coding more efficiently, and I'm not too worried about that. What I'm talking about is when they're coding something, they need to use notes showing exactly what part of this code is doing what and where. So even for like a simple website thing, I'm talking, all right, make sure let me show you for an example, because I was recently doing this website before. I think you can still see the screen. Let me go over to Visual Studio Code real quick. Let me open up something. Actually, I might need to pause this really quick. Okay, so I was going through the code and I realized probably should not show you that. But what I'm trying to say is you need to have proper notes on top, just saying what code does what. Pretty simple, pretty standard. I feel like it's standard coding practice just to make sure everything neat and organized, so that even if this person finishes their stuff, you need to hire somebody else, you understand where to come from. Another thing with coding is NDAs are super, super, super important. Make sure that everybody is working on your stuff, signs an NDA. And the next thing is you got to make sure, you got to fully ensure that once you're done with the work, that you're able to get all of the coding. Very, very, very important. You got to make sure you get all the coding and that it's fully yours. Okay. Another thing is, I mean, depending on what you're doing, I always try to stress test my stuff. So make sure it works with 1,000 people clicking. You can hire somebody to make like a quick algorithm to be able to stress test your software. Another thing is I always try to get it audited, the codes, by somebody else. A couple other things to note too is when they're developing this code, if you are the person managing it, I mean, I highly recommend, coding isn't really that hard to learn. Learn the basics so you can understand what's going on. And if you need to make a quick change, you can kind of change it. A couple other things I would recommend too is before you launch it, make sure you test it yourself. Obviously, I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory. Other things like that. So yeah, more so with the employees. When you're hiring devs, obviously they got to be the price point of them needs to make sense. But more importantly, I mean, it's kind of a trade-off here, because you're kind of looking for a cheap person, but you're also looking for somebody that's less stressful. And how it works is, let's say you keep a budget at like 10 G's. Okay. The developer is going to try to do the least amount of work as possible for 10 G's, and keep this in mind, while you want them to do the most amount of work for 10 G's. So once again, you got to make sure that everything is super, super clear on what's going to happen. Okay. Those are my biggest things that I've really seen when it comes to SaaS, software as a service. What I'm thinking I'm going to do with this video is actually I'm going to make another video more specifically towards my marketing agency, and maybe another one even towards my contracting business. But the main points that I want to get off with SaaS is making sure that obviously everything's audited, everything's tested, stress tested, things like that. Make sure you find an employee, your employees, you can find them through Facebook, Fiverr, Upwork. Make sure that they're reliable. Make sure that they're really reliable. Make sure that if you want to build a long-term relationship with this person, you find a good developer, make sure you pay them well. And as soon as you start in the software, obviously you're going to want this, but if you're starting your software because you wanted to make you money and you wanted this company to be here for the long run. So what I'm trying to say is the first thing when you start out your software company is you're going to want to be building your team. Okay. And I'm talking, you need your marketing guys, you need your software, you front end, back end, full stack, security, all that stuff. As soon as you do that, you're going to want to start building your team, and you want to start building trust within this team. It's the hardest thing. Okay. And that everybody just needs to get ingrained with doing software is that as soon as you start, you need to build a solid team where everybody, I won't say completely trust each other, but NDAs are signed, contracts are signed. They realize that they've been working for you for a long time, and that you just want to build a solid, reputable team. That's one of the biggest things that if you don't listen to anything else, that's the most important thing I want to try to get to you guys, is that as soon as you start your software company, you want to start building an OG squad, a killer freaking team. Okay, guys? But I don't want to make this video too long. I'll release another video regarding about my marketing agency and what I learned, another one probably around my contracting business and what I learned about that, and just a couple other things as well too. So watch out for those. I hope this video helped, guys. If you have any questions whatsoever, please let me know down below in the comment section down below, guys. And as always, guys, I see you at the top. All right. Let me know if you like this type of video, by the way, too, because I'll probably make more of these. Thank you guys and talk to you all later. Peace out, guys. I see you at the top.